So they suspended John Morant for 25 games due to the incident on his Instagram. I mean, I do believe that it's not just because of the incident, but we'll get to that right now. First, I just want to talk about that I don't think the suspension is enough, and I want to say that from right now. I do believe that John Morant did something which is not representative of the NBA. And honestly, I do like the David Stern method of going hard on superstars because they are the ones responsible for showing this game. This meme has gone way out of control, and it has gone to the point where people are just believing anything that's on the internet. Like, there was this meme the other day, and I was told that someone believed that John Morant said, like F the NBA. I'm not gonna say the word, but they were saying like F the NBA. They can't stop me or something like that. And that was a fake quote put on Instagram, and people are believing that kind of thing. So you could tell that just with that situation, that his image is tarnished. And in my opinion, what I see in this situation is a kid who was lost. Now he's facing the consequences, but really, 25 games is a slap on the wrist. Like, 25 games is not enough for him as a superstar player, as the first American player which we have, which is on the level of popularity of guys like Giannis and Joel Embiid, right, who have been superstars for forever. He's like the next guy up. And I say American because it's been a big conversation in the NBA recently of like, where are the American superstars? And John Morant was supposed to be like this guy, which was like, he is our guy, right? Like, Jason Tatum is not entertaining enough. Devin Booker is not good enough, and he doesn't play in a big enough market. Or he does play in the market, but he gets outshined by his teammate Kevin Durant. Also, that until Devin Booker starts like talking more in the media about mentality and starts winning championships or MVPs, he's not gonna get any recognition. Let's face it. And finally, we have a plethora of other guys, but they're not even close to John Morant. So in my opinion, Ja is really the last guy, the last of his breed, of these entertaining players, and he's the one really being put on notice as the league's next superstar. He's the next Derrick Rose, Clyde Drexler, Michael Jordan, which are these high-flying, entertaining, a lot of energy guys, which the league promotes always, right? Like young Kobe. And we've had those for forever. And John Morant was supposed to take in that role, right? And Stephen Curry, which are these young, fast guys who just brings a different element to the game, right? And they get promoted like it. They're not traditional point guards. They're guys who are going to go get themselves a bucket. And they've been rewarded with having that flashy coolness that the public loves, right? We've had Michael Froby, which is like young Kobe, Afro Kobe, right? And etc. And we've had these as long as guys could like jump and dunk and not get injured, right? Because in the 60s, technology was still flawed and people weren't really dunking like that, except maybe Wilt and Bill. But yeah, so now I just want to talk about like, what does 25 games mean? Now, 25 games is nothing. It's a quarter of 100, and a season is 82. So it's like 1/3 of the season, right? But not even that. It's not. It's like they're just trying to get John Morant to play, and I understand it. But he has done something here, which, in my opinion, should be punished harder. Like, 25 games is a lot of games. If you miss 25 games with an injury, you're not making the All-NBA team anymore after the new CBA's release. You're not making the All-Star team. But for a guy who flashed a gun twice on Instagram, apparently pointed a red dot at a Pacers staff, beat up a 17-year-old, I mean, he was ruled not guilty, and has caused so much drama for the NBA. You would think that at least you would give him 50. Right? Like, I think 50 is good. I think 50 is what he should have gotten. I don't think he should have gotten a season because in my opinion the league would lose way too much money and the Grizzlies would be way too bad. And I think that in my opinion they just did this so that he could play enough games to get an All-Star nod, get an All-NBA nod, or get just some type of award or recognition, or at least so they could market him enough so that he would be in the playoffs because they needed him there. Adam Silver is a guy who thinks a lot about money. Adam Silver being the commissioner, but you could tell that he is very money oriented and he's not hard on his players like Davis Stern used to be, even though he fell in his footsteps. But in my opinion, this whole situation has really blown up in Ja's face. We've seen him, he was just a young kid who came from a good family, right? Like that's a well reported thing that his family had money. He was never I don't think he ever had to live in a hood or in a ghetto or in any place that would like need him to have a gun or like for protection. And he came into basketball, and as soon as like he was he had good conduct, he was well poised, and he had a lot of fun. But then finally, when he got that contract, when he got that fame, when he got that superstardom, he got too in over his head, and now he's stuck paying the consequence of what he did. I like Ja. I think he's a good guy, and I think it's his influences which are doing this to him. I don't believe that he wants to be this way or that he thinks that this is actually real, right? Like having a gun or being in that life. And in my opinion, I just think that he probably needs just to search, like, what does he actually want? Like, if he wants to go fool around, spend all his money, and, have fun, then so be it. You're still going to be a great NBA player. Just don't show it to the public. But if you want to be a serious legend who wants to be a phenomenal NBA player and who wants to go and really change the game and win championships and progress people as their soul, right? Like transcend basketball as a role model for people, then that's your choice, right? Like, I know that he puts out PR statements, which I'm going to read what he said afterwards. And I know that he also has a lot of people behind him who rely on his support and who've been there for him and who need him, especially because they've invested so much in him. But in my opinion, let the kid do what he wants. Even if nothing else happens to him, he's going to still be, in my opinion, Allen Iverson, or he could be, like Kobe. Like this kid is awesome. He could be one of the greatest players of all time if he just puts in enough work. And in my opinion, all he needs to do is just either get his act straight and figure out what are you gonna do. Like, look, if you just want to have fun, then do it. Who cares? Like, it's your career, it's your life. Allen Iverson is still rich, and he's still publicly adored. And he had a lot of fun. He barely went to practice. He did nothing. But if you want to be a serious, like, if you want to be a game changer, if you want to be like LeBron, a KD, one of these guys, then you need to control yourself. You need to know how to move around the league. You need to know what happens and how the league works. And that if you're going to have a gun, first either legally own it and then you can do whatever you want with it, or just don't show it on Instagram and tell your friends to not record when you're there. Finally, I'm going to read the statement which he said, and this is after they give him the suspension. I've had time to reflect and I realize how much hurt I've caused. I want to apologize to the NBA, the Grizzlies, and my teammates in the city of Memphis, to Adam Silver, Zach Kleiman, and Robert Parra, who gave me the opportunity to be a professional athlete and have supported me. I'm sorry for the harm I've done to the kids who look up to me. I'm sorry for failing you as a role model. I promise I'm going to be better. To all my sponsors, I'm going to be a better representation of our brands, and to all my fans, I'm going to make it up to you, I promise. I'm spending the off-season of my suspension continuing to work on my own mental health and decision making. I'm also going to be training so that I'm ready to go back I'm ready to go get when I can be back on the court. I know my teammates are going to hold it down, and I'm so sorry that I won't be out there with you at the beginning of the season. I hope you give me the chance to prove to you over time I'm a better man than what I've been showing you. So, I mean, it's a powerful statement, and yeah, that I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna give my opinion on the statement. I hope that what he's saying is right and that he does get better.